started?
My name is Leslie Watson, and I'm a board member of the Eastside Food Co-op here. I want to thank everyone for coming this morning. It was so cold I was worried that we wouldn't get much turnout. I think maybe the talk of parks is actually heartening to us. It's 5 below, so maybe that influenced it. I just wanted to mention that this actually marks the 1-year anniversary of the Northeast Network. We started in February of last year, so I know a lot of familiar faces here. But it was kind of an experiment for our board of directors to decide to embark on a series of community conversations that had virtually nothing to do with cooperatives, and most often not even to do with food, although next month we are doing urban gardening. So it's been really fun for us to see the different people who kind of come and go for different topics and have all these great conversations. I want to thank everybody for supporting us for this year, and we look forward to great conversations for the rest of 2011. We have here today Hayla Mays, who's a principal planner with CPED, and she is in charge, I think it focuses on the East Sector, and has been very involved in the update of the Above the Falls planning. Correct? Yes. I got all that right? Got it right. And then we're also very glad to have with us Jane Miller, who's the new superintendent of Minneapolis Parks, who comes to us from Ann Arbor. I think it is with us for about a few months now. Yes. A couple months, yeah. So we're very glad that they could both be here. It's, of course, we're slightly ahead of the game because the Parks Department has a big announcement this afternoon that will happen about the winners of the Riverfront Design Competition that has been going on throughout this entire fall. But it's a really great opportunity to kind of get a broader picture of all the different thoughts, I think, and activity and energy that's going on, focusing north of the Stonehurst Bridge up to the border. So I hope we'll all learn something new today, and that we'll be even more informed when the announcement happens this afternoon about that end of that process. So, or maybe I should say the beginning. So with that lengthy introduction, I do want to just step back for 1 minute and let everybody else go around the room and say who they are and who they represent, and if you have any special connection to that stretch of the river that brings you here, or not, mention it, or if not, that's okay too. So maybe if you have anything more introduction about yourself, you're welcome to make it, or you can pass. So
I think you did a good job.
Okay.
I'll pass on.
Okay.
My name is Janine Cowan. I'm actually a graduate student at the Humphrey School of Public Affairs, and I'm currently taking a class on civic engagement, and I need to write a paper about a civic engagement venue that I attended. So I'm here to observe and analyze civic engagement in action.
And tell us whether we're functional.
I'm Becky Deming, and I own Becky's on 2nd. I actually live just on the north side, just off of Broadway, and my business is at 13th and 2nd Street. So I'm just, at the same distance on the northeast side. So I'm very interested in what's going to go on with this.
My name is Dr. Hansen. I own Northeast Community Chiropractic. It's a sliding fee scale chiropractic clinic right on 13th and 2nd as well, above the Frank Stone Art Gallery.
I am Kelly Sharp, and you've seen me here a couple times. I can now officially say I am the proud owner of the Barber Sharp. Yay. You've seen me in the paper. It's actually been amazing for business. So I have a business in Northeast 1308 2nd Street, and I also live on University and 3rd Avenue. So not only am I a business owner, but live here, love and embrace the community. Very happy to be here.
Steve Savant, I live in Winter Park.
I'm Blaine Myers. I work for Hennepin County Corrections. I work at the neighborhood office up here on 26th and Central up in the next block. I carry a caseload of parolees who live in the 2nd precinct.
Debbie Woodward. I manage the Northrop Pink Building off of Central Avenue.
Kevin Wright, Councilmember Ward 1.
Oh, Kevin? Mine's okay. Jim Higgins from Higgins Insurance, next to the beautiful new library on 22nd Central. Lifelong resident of Northeast.
My name is Mike Penowitz. I live in Linden Park, and I'm the Ward 1 representative on the Capital Long Range Improvement Committee for the City of Minneapolis.
And I'm Diane Loeffler. I have the privilege of being the state representative for Northeast and live in Linden Park. And also had the chance to be on the jury for the Park Perks Riverfront Design Competition. It was really tough. Thank you, Trust.
So you know.
counts.
I'm Mackenzie Turner. I'm a Columbia Park resident, and I am currently working on a community project for the Ward 1 neighborhoods. Margot Ashmore, Northeaster and North News newspapers. Our papers border the part of the river that's involved in the design competition and the Above the Falls redo.
I'm Sonia Peterson. I'm just a Northeast resident, I guess, and I'm originally from Denver, so I don't have any association with the Mississippi River until now.
I'm Fish Fisher. I'm with Marshall Concrete Products, and we're located on the east bank of the Mississippi River.
I'm Marty Sherber. I live in Wake Park. I have a business in Ottawa and Castle Home Services, and I'm on board of the chamber, and I'm on the Above the River task force.
I'm Tom Sywick from Sywick Lumber and Millwork. My family has a business on the river since the 40s. And I'm a president-elect of the Exchange Club of East Minneapolis. Little fun.
Linda McIntyre. I'm an EFC employee and I'm on the board.
Emma Hickson, EFC employee. I'm the board's assistant and I live in Linden Park.
I'm Bobby Bell. I'm on the board of the Eastside Food Co-op.
I'm Bruce Fisher. I'm also on the board.
Greg Oliver, Northeast resident.
I'm Chris Pratt, and I'm also on the board of the
My name is Manisha Nordine, and I'm on the co-op board, and I'm filming today, and I just want to let everybody know that the clips for this are available on the Eastside Food Co-op website.
Tom Dunwell, I'm on the co-op board also, along with a couple other people here. I'm announcing that the Northeast Middle School musical this spring will be on the 9th and 10th of March. And last year it was Seussical, and we sold about 450 or 500 tickets. They're great shows. This year it's Alice. And anybody that feels like putting an ad in the program would want to talk to me.
Amy Fields, I'm the manager here at the co-op. Welcome.
I'm Kathy Brewer, and I'm a member of the community.
Michael Gasek, Northeast resident.
Jenny Sutton, I'm on the Northeast Network Committee, and my first home here in Northeast was on Marshall Street, right on the river. Just been watching the development ever since.
Peter Dowdy, Columbia Park neighborhood, which borders on this stretch of the river under consideration.
Good morning, I'm Scott Gagnon. I'm with the Minneapolis Park Board. I'm the CSA Community Service Area Lead for Upper Northeast Parks, which include Wake, Wyndham, and Audubon. If I could make a little plug, we have a skating party tonight at Wyndham Park from 6 to 8. So if you want to bring your family out for a little skating and chili and hot chocolate, that would be great.
Christine Braucus, I'm the assistant GM at Eastside Food Co-op, and I'm also on board of the St. Anthony West neighborhood organization, and that is the neighborhood that also is very close to the river, has been working a lot on the D.F. Nelson Park development.
I'm Tricia Schaffer. I'm the operations manager here at Eastside Co-op. I live in Wake Park, and the outdoors is my passion.
Well, thank you everyone for being here, and I'm going to turn it over to Kayla, who has a presentation to start with, and then we'll go from there.
Okay, maybe if no one minds, I'll stand up just so I know I was tough, but I also want to be able to reference to remind me. I wanted to say, first of all, thank you for having me here. It's wonderful to see this group. I brought handouts, but you folks exceeded my expectations. I don't think I have quite enough. There's about 25 here, and I think we're a little over 25. So I'm going to hand these out. It's just a copy of what's on the screen. So if you want it, you can take it. If you don't want it, keep passing it. And if you didn't get one, let me know, and I'll get you one later. So anyway, I always bring backups. I'm never quite sure about the technology, but thanks for bringing this up. First of all, how many people here have, I think Phil mentioned it, how many people here have heard of the Above the Falls plan or have some idea what that is? Wow, basically everyone. So maybe we can go through some of these early slides at the beginning. I wasn't quite sure, but again, maybe you're a little rusty on it or not quite up to speed. I'll go quickly through that as background. This is just a little overview of what we're going to talk about today. Before Above the Falls plan was done, as probably most of you here to know, about 10 years ago. And again, it was an extremely ambitious vision for the riverfront. As folks know, this is talking about a little bit before Above the Falls, what was sort of there now. And again, if you've been there, you're familiar with this area. There's a historic multi-generational focus of sort of industrial uses along there. This is where they put those things. When other parts of the city redeveloped, they got moved here, especially on the West Bank. Less so on the East Bank, but it varies a lot. This is the character is supported by infrastructure investments for many generations, actually. So the city's policy was we're building things to support businesses in this area. That's what, and you look at the utilities and the roads, the rail, it's kind of the pattern for some time. But there were some growing concerns that developed over time about equity. Is it fair to put all this stuff in one part of the city? Access to green space, pollution, and other issues. So we, in 2000, had the Fall of Master Plan, which came in and proposed a radical change to the riverfront. Sort of highlighting and finalizing what is, of course, the parks, which, as you mentioned up front, we have this process we're talking about. The parks have never really been an issue. Everyone still loves the idea and supports the idea of riverfront parks on both sides of the river. It's just a matter of the other uses up there. But again, sort of, the parks have led the way in this vision to say we should reclaim the waterfront to the extent possible, and sort of think about redevelopment behind that parks that complements that area and really lays it out. And we've sort of taken this effort to the next level recently because we found out, hey, you can't just adopt a big, ambitious plan and then it takes care of itself. There are steps towards implementation, and we need to be thoughtful about how that happens, especially if you're talking about major transformation. This is just an exercise where we came to staff's attention that we needed to look at this, actually by council guidance. We started pulling apart this area and saying, well, what are we saying is going to happen in this area? What is realistic and what is moving forward? There was a study that was done actually in 2004, a few years after that, sort of looking at the Upper Harbor Terminal site, which still remains the biggest site in play up there that the city has control over. The Upper Harbor Terminal on the other side of the river, but again, if that was to be something besides a terminal, you're talking about 50 plus acres of prime riverfront land. So
where exactly is that?
This is, this map is not very good, but it's on the West Bank. This is Lowry down there, and so it's north of Lowry.
Oh, that was at the port of Minneapolis?
Yes,
Right.
it's a port. The big dome, round things. Okay. I don't know what you call those. They're for storing stuff that's shipped in. And then we also had a study that looked at some of the industrial land uses back in 2006 to say, well, what areas should we definitely preserve for industrial? And you think, well, why would we need to preserve areas for industrial? Because A, we thought it needed to be the city, and B, if you start mixing too much industrial and residential, you get conflicts for both sides, and we like to avoid that when possible. It doesn't really benefit anyone if everyone hates being next to their work for some reason. That was done, and that sort of outlined some key industrial areas. So walking, and then we had a comprehensive plan to keep looking. This sort of was the step that kind of kicked off our recent step. This is what's existing right now in terms of land use. Purple is what planners call industrial. I don't know why it's purple. Let's just probably show the maps. If you click one more time, you can see that the Above the Falls plan, a lot less purple. This was the first time we actually incorporated this in the comprehensive plan, which is the citywide framework for development. And that was 2009. So we're revisiting this plan now. It's, again, 10 years have elapsed, and it's time to think about what as a city how committed are we to this plan? What are we doing to implement? And frankly, are there some tweaks that need to happen to the plan? A lot has happened in the last 10 years, as everyone knows. Everyone's been here for more than 10 years.